Hello class, Aldo Figueroa here. In this video tutorial, we're going to go over uh, a method that was going to help you trying to visualize how you could go from your reference images, such as these right here. I have Photoshop, a side view. I also have like this back view, a front view, and this top view. Going from these different views to something like this, where we jump into Maya and we have your model. So if you're new to modeling, this is just a technique to help you visualize where to put all the topology, the placement of your components, or how your components should be placed, your vertices, edges, polygons to create your shape. So right here, I have the hammer that I've created from these models. And before I even go over this, something that could be helpful is to first try to visualize where the different components should be placed at. So I'm going to go back into Photoshop here. And on this image right here, on my side view, specifically on the side view, because I can have a nice, really a good profile view of this hammer, I'm going to create a new layer. And I'm going to zoom in. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to first draw out where I think the different components should be placed at. So what I'm going to do is I have my brush tool. I'm going to make my brush a little bit larger so that you could see these lines. Great. And for example, I'm going to start right here. I know that it's round for this hammer. One thing I want to mention is that for your model, I'm going to suggest that from the front and the side view, you should try to have a division that goes to, say, for example, if this is the front, you want your model to be able to, no matter what it is, I'm just going to draw a sphere, for example, that it could be sliced right down the middle. And the same, if possible, on the side where I want to, if it's no longer the front, but now it's the side, I want to try to have a division that goes right along the side of the shape as well. That's really helpful. The reason that you'd want something like this is because you'd want to be able to split your object if you need to, if you need to mirror it. So say, for example, I'm going to draw an idea of a cylinder. And so say, for example, if this was, here's your cylinder, if I made any changes to this shape and that I needed to copy one side to the other, I'd be able to select these sides right here and delete them and then select the rest of it and mirror it onto the other side. So that's kind of like the idea that we're trying to go to. So let me just go ahead and get rid of this. I'm just undoing these steps. Okay. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just draw the idea of what these shapes should be. So say, for example, if this is my side view, this right here is a cylinder. Of course, we can't see it because it's 2D because it's the side. But hopefully, as I'm doing this, uh, this would make sense as you go along. So say, for example, this is a handle, and I know that this handle is pretty much straight. So I'm just drawing these lines right here. And maybe I want to have some division around along here because I just don't want these uh, to be straight. So something that looks like this so far. And here for this handle. Now, I'm not necessarily drawing it as if it's from an orthographic view. I am making my outlines based off of this shape. But this is, as I said, it's just a technique. It's not necessarily something that you need to do, but it does help you to visualize where your line should be placed at. Like say, for example, this is going to be split right down the middle. It's going to continue down right here so that we could have a better idea. And say, for example, from right here, oops, from right here, it's gonna, uh, we want these, our components to follow the contours of your shape. So we don't just want the lines to be completely perfectly parallel. We definitely want them to follow the contours of whatever shape, whatever your object is. So here's just an example of what this could potentially look like. So that I know where my topology would be at. I'm going to create another layer and I'm just going to fill this in with uh, just white. Let me create another layer just so you can see what this is going to look like. There you go. So let me go back to this one. Okay, so now we get something a little bit more complex, the hammerhead. And right here, I will probably create this using a cylinder. So it has a shape that looks something like this. It's gonna be split right along the side. And maybe it's only gonna have 8 sides. So we only see 4 on this side. And what I still want these to follow these contours. So maybe it continues to go along right here. Let's see, actually, I want this to go from here. Maybe I want it to meet up right here because this is going to continue to go along the edge. And here I'm just going to continue to go along this contour, the edge of, it's kind of like the side of this hammer because ultimately, let's see, this line right here, I'm going to go ahead and cut across right here. See, this kind of goes up right there. Great. From here. And by doing this, it's allowing me to get a better idea of what the actual shape is for this hammer. So say, for example, right here, I know that I'm going to have these divisions. Oh, yeah, actually, before I do this, I can see right here the shape. So this is going to probably kind of wrap around this way. And maybe this continues to go all the way down. So I get something that looks like this. So, and here I'm going to have some divisions that kind of wrap around. So that goes up and around. And so, for example, maybe from right here, this is going to either come up somewhere around here. And I'm probably going to have some different divisions along here. And right here, I definitely want to slice this around. So I'll probably have some divisions that come across right here. And I still want these to wrap around. So from here, they'll go to the other side. And right here, I might have a big division so that I have a better idea of how these are going to come across. Right here, I probably need to create an additional shape that comes across. That goes around. so that I have a better idea of how the topology for this shape is going to be. So now you don't necessarily need to create this, but this is helpful for you to start to visualize what it's going to look like. Now, I only did the side view. If you want to, you could definitely do, for example, like the top view as well, so that you have an idea. Now, I'm not going to create it right now, but you get the idea of what you could do so that you have an idea of what the topology could look like, so that now that I kind of visualize it right here, when I go into Maya, I have an idea of how to create this shape. So this is a really handy exercise to help you to be able to visualize the topology for your model and how you're going to create it. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.